Luke Cage.
Holy shit.
Season finale.
That was big.
It was. Oh, man. I think we'll start out with where the last episode left off, with what I call the bro down. You've got Luke Cage and his fucking half-brother
Willis
punching it out in the streets.
with the visor there and everything. He looks like a character that I should know.
Right?
Does he to you at all or no?
I like, honestly, the first time I saw him, I instantly was thinking, like, this looks like something on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Definitely street level, though. Like, the right kind of villain that Luke Cage should be fighting.
Duking it out hard with some hammer tech, dude.
That was, what, solid 10, 15 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, about that. And it started so fast, I couldn't believe.
yeah.
I was like, are we going to have another villain rise up or something? Or what's going on? Because it started off, and it was hitting hard.
Yeah, and he's in this Justin Hammer, good reference, Justin Hammer, like, mech suit thing, and they're just punching it out in the barbershop.
Oh, shit.
They take it upstairs, punch it out into the streets. Oh, shit. They're throwing each other into cars and shit. This is what I want to see. I just want to see the fucking boom, boom. I had a ton of fun with it.
It was phenomenal. If you don't remember Hammer is from, you can reference him in Iron Man 2.
Yep.
Justin Hammer is basically Tony Stark's competitor, who builds up all of the basically mech warriors to take on Iron Man and War Machine.
All the arms that were being sold illegally in this show were Hammer weapons. So
starting off, even before we got into the fight itself, we had this flashback into the gym.
Yes,
and when we had the flashback in the gym, you see the two brothers interacting, and I never knew they were that close.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Nothing ever...
They didn't really show that.
Nothing at all. And they had this good back and forth, and then all of a sudden, it was like, yeah, but, you know,
They built this relationship of them, of Luke Cage's older brother, Willis, teaching him how to box, basically, and it kept flashing back during their fight scene of them as, like, teenagers, boxing it out, with a good relationship, and then boxing it out, hating each other pretty much, and it was pretty satisfying. I was happy with that.
It really was. Only problem I had with the fight, I mean, we had motorcycles picked up and thrown at each other.
That was awesome.
And
I love that.
To see Cage grab the motorcycle and then throw it back at him, just like, or throw it down to the ground.
Yeah.
That was killer as well.
If I remember correctly, the Hulk and Abomination fought in Harlem, I think.
But one thing that did piss me off was the ending of how that fight went. The last punch was kind of anticlimactic, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a hard, like, it was such a wire trick, an obvious wire gimmick at the end of it, after Cage uppercuts Willis up into the air, and he flips back, and he lands and all. It was just... I don't know. I was hoping for something a bit bigger.
I think it was supposed to be a bigger moment when Luke just decided to stop fighting, and like, him fighting was what was fueling Willis's hatred, I guess. Willis is Diamondback, by the way, and he fucking just let Willis punch it out on him, and he took quite a beating.
Yeah, he took it
until Willis's suit just powered down, and that was the one last knockout punch to take him out. And you're just seeing, like, everyone from the neighborhood, like, throughout the series. It's fucking great.
So we finish up the fight, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, what are we gonna... How much time do we have left to...
Yeah, it was just like, we have like 45 minutes left in this fucking episode. What is going on here? And it ended up being like this... it was just kind of like a soft wrap-up that just kind of turned on you.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's getting arrested. You know, Luke Cage had a warrant out for his arrest just because he went to prison anyway, so they had to take him in for the fight and just to chat with him, and he went willingly. Shouldn't he be signing a registration act? And they arrested the councilwoman because she was doing some shady-ass shit the whole season.
Yeah, and it's... Oh, my God. I mean, I can't believe she hasn't been caught yet.
System is fucked.
Mm-hmm. Have we got that Punisher's number? It's getting annoying almost now.
So our trusty detective took her in and made sure to arrest her. I wanted to point out, like, Luke Cage had a nice pep talk while he was in the police station, just explaining himself and how he doesn't call himself a hero, but this was a hero talking. Like Luke Cage has settled into his herodom, and it was nice to see finally that he accepted his responsibility for what he can do and who he can help.
Yeah, definitely.
With or without powers, he was saying, which was awesome. I love that pep talk.
I gotta say though, it was kind of boring. Like the lighting was boring, but you're in a police station. You can't make super intricate, crazy lighting in a police station, but you can work the camera to build off of that emotion. And the fact that it was almost like it wasn't a lock off per se, but like it was. Yeah, I don't know. The camera work was kind of boring there. I wish the camera work would have matched the words he was saying and the writing that was provided.
Yeah, that would have been cool if they could spiff that up a little bit with the fucking everything that was going on.
His dialogue was incredible.
It was a great speech.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So then I made the note in there. The night nurse was with him the whole way, and the police station. She wouldn't leave his side. She was sticking up with him, and they've had this kind of flirting going on the whole season. And Luke Cage still pimping. He's still pimping. And it was just funny because she put it out there. She offered him some coffee. While that interaction's going on, where they're having their flirt on, fucking the councilwoman's getting interrogated, and of course
she's breaking.
Yeah, she's starting to break. She's losing
falling
her mind.
apart.
And the key witness that they had held up to send her to prison got murdered. Damn. Shades.
Died from bullet in the headitis.
It sucked to see her get away with it, but I'm sure we'll see her in the future some more. While Luke Cage is at the police station, of course, the U.S. Marshals show up to take him back to prison as well.
Right before he has his coffee.
So it's just like, pimping ain't easy.
No shit, dude.
Oh, and awesome reference. Night Nurse made sure to tell Luke that she'll call a lawyer that she knows. Got the file. Dope. Make sure to get that to Mr. Murdoch. Daredevil.
He's a very good one.
Matt Murdoch. He's a very good lawyer. You can probably get him out. So that's something to look forward to. I really hope that we see them interact somewhat soon,
Well, they teased you with it first, and she was like, "Oh, I know a good lawyer. If you you don't have to say anything.
Speak for myself."
Yeah, and then after the marshals showed up, and it's like, "Oh, I guess I do need a lawyer."
All right. But Luke Cage went willingly. He's willing to serve his time because he did escape prison earlier.
Yeah, but then he got in the car and he's on his way back, and he's just like, "No, I got work to do when I get back there." Yeah. It's like, dude, what work are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna get more ripped? Is that your plan? Like,
I'm not sure what he's actually talking about there, but So when the councilwoman gets out, I just love calling her the councilwoman for some reason.
Because Miranda's just a bitch.
So she gets the nightclub up and running and takes over Cottonmouth's position that she murdered him earlier. So she's in the position of Cottonmouth working with Shades.
And takes down the Biggie Smalls.
Took down the Biggie Smalls painting, and that was some symbolism there.
Yeah, because and then she lifts up but they put the other painting up, which is two crowns.
Yep.
Up on the head of two fucking buffoons.
Yeah, and it looked weird. It was a weird. I don't like that painting. It ain't no biggie.
And then of course at the end of it, guess what? Somebody didn't die again. And
That's
so
right.
we have Willis laying in the hospital bed.
Willis is alive. Oh shit!
And then Dr. Kilbrew's apprentice or something.
Yeah, really quick at the end they show the doctor/scientist that made Luke Cage have his powers. They have him closing the door, so it's left some cliffhangers. It was, I like the first 15 minutes of the episode, and then the rest is just wrap up.
And then fall apart.
And then fall apart. And I'm wondering if it's just kind of leading toward the Defenders, maybe, with how fucked the justice system is, and this team of people coming together. The Defenders is, if you don't know, Defenders is going to be coming out, I think, next year or the year after. I think it's at the end of 2017, but you've got Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
And they're going to be coming together as a team. I don't know who they're going to be fighting or whatever, but it's definitely happening. So I wonder if this unsatisfied feeling I'm feeling is going to lead into why the Defenders get together.
So it's interesting for the Defenders because, I mean, you have the Avengers, you have the Defenders. And Avengers, I mean, like, you got nuclear warhead coming to destroy Manhattan. We have a hole open up. We have, Ultron. We have like all
Big
these
worldly
massive
shit.
things.
Defenders defend the streets.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, wouldn't they just be like, "Hey, Avengers, can you guys like send 2 people over here to take care of this?"
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, what are they gonna be like? Who could they be defending against?
It's probably just going to be the accumulation of mobs that rise and fall.
Okay, that's probably true.
Kind of like Batman. You know, Batman's the never-ending fight against crime that is always prevalent.
Yeah, I mean, against you can go up against a super villain or something like that. But if you have one supervillain or a mob of people who are, or multiple mobs.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Kingpin, though. I mean, we could have him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rise of the Kingpin again, because I think that's going to happen for sure.
Where do you think Punisher is going to fall on, like, in Defenders?
I do not know. I think the Punisher's always just going to be an amazing wild card and just come in and out of storylines as we need to see him. But wrapping up the season finale.
Oh, yeah, season finale. I'm getting excited.
Yeah, I know. Season finale, like I said, kind of satisfying. I love the 2 episodes before that. Season finale was just wrap up, and like I said, I think it's leading into other things. But let's talk about what we think of the show
overall.
Luke Cage, I did enjoy it, but I think it was my least favorite of all these Marvel Netflix shows, which it's sad. It's still good. Mm-hmm. Like, I still enjoyed it, but there was that hump in the middle that I was so fucking bored. And like
that was just hard to get
there
through.
Was so much dialogue that just, I suppose it mattered, but the way they executed it, I'm sitting there like, God damn it, what are we doing today, man?
Yeah.
You know? And then when it picked up again, it was fucking great. Like, the last 3 or 4 episodes were awesome.
Yeah.
And like the first 3 or 4 episodes were awesome. I like where it ended up, I guess, as long as it leads into the Defenders. Overall, the season, I would recommend you watch it, because it's fun. It's just tough getting through those middle episodes.
Yeah, definitely. Now, as far as camera and production goes in it, I thought that, I mean, if I had to rate them, I'd say that I think that the camera work that was done in Luke Cage, really, it's on par with Jessica Jones, and it's not on par with Daredevil, because the first season of Daredevil, especially the first 4 episodes, have been some of the best lighting I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
When we're introduced to the Kingpin, and they're driving through the streets, and they've got, and you see these streetlights behind him and everything, but his face is totally silhouetted. It's like a white face is silhouetted black against a black street with some lights. The fact that they had the balls to do that was incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think they took that many chances and that many risks in this show, but as I said before, they did a lot of different lighting things that I was really excited about that I haven't seen before. Now, the lighting was incredible, yeah. The camera work left a little bit to be desired for me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see cameras that were actually roving and moving all around and following. And I guess there's different techniques you could use, but I wanted to see some camera movement that reflected really what Luke Cage was thinking and what he was feeling and what he was doing.
Yeah.
So if he hits something, I want to see that camera jar back with it too.
Yeah,
I don't want this locked off steady shot and then just, he hits a door and boom, it explodes off and the door lands and falls.
You want to like feel it.
I want to feel every ounce of what he does because this guy's all about raw power and
Yeah.
everything like that.
He's a power man.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So I thought the camera work was very good considering, I mean, when we're looking against most shows, I thought it was incredible. When we're looking at what Netflix is producing right now, especially with Stranger Things and a few of their other originals they have coming out right now, I thought it was average.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was still good. It just wasn't like I feel like Netflix has spoiled us so much that like if I had seen Luke Cage on TV, if I was watching Luke Cage as a weekly series, I think I'd fucking love it.
Yeah.
And I think those lull episodes wouldn't bother me as much, but when you're watching 13 episodes in a row, it's hard to get through the middle part.
Yeah, I do have a problem with that You know, it's like, oh, we want to make 13 episodes, and so we're just going to make 13 episodes. It's not like...
Who decided on the number 13? Like, where does 13 episodes come from? Because, yeah, could we have just made it into, like, okay. Did you see The Get Down by any chance?
No, I haven't, but it's on my list.
I watched
the
The Get
next thing I'm
Down,
going to be watching.
The Get Down is fucking awesome. And it's only 6 episodes. They're presenting it in a part 1 and a part 2. It's only 6 episodes. So why does Luke Cage have to be 13 episodes with at least 3 solid episodes of...
What can we come up with? I'll tell you why. It's because we have Daredevil and we have Jessica Jones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which are all, 13 or more episode seasons. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they have a lot more money to throw into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you see that on their more lavish sets and stuff like that, and their longer seasons. But 13 is what we come to expect from Marvel. So I think they're just saying, you know what? If we're going to do this, we're going to do 13 episodes. And that's how it has to be, because this is the minimum of what we do for Netflix. Now, if they would have said, we're going to make it a mini-series, it would have been a little bit different. You know, and that would have been what that would have fit for it.
Yeah.
This is another thing that bothers me also with the length of how long do we decide to make something. In this series, they decided to make all their episodes about 50 minutes, like right about there. But if you watch normal TV, it's 26 minutes and about 30 seconds on the nose.
Yeah.
And it on the nose. And they do that because, that's the standard of where if we add in commercials and we add in this other programming and everything in here, and we tell you who's a producer and everything else like this, that's how long it ends up running for. And we need these blocks and these chunks. Netflix has shaken up the industry by saying, we're going to make this stuff on our own, and we're not going to really be following the way that everybody else does it, in the form of coming out on your direct TV or whatever else, and we're going to do a subscription, and then we're also going to do it so that we want to shoot things like this, we want them to look like this. That's how we're going to do it. They've made some really ballsy moves, and I'm so happy to see that.
They've done great moves.
I just want to see more.
Oh yeah. While you're talking, I was also thinking about a point I wanted to bring up, is that something that they nailed in Daredevil and Jessica Jones is the villain. And I think that's what was missing. And that could be why there was this lull in the middle of the season, is that we didn't have a really well-established villain throughout the series. Like, they built up Cottonmouth for the first, couple episodes, and it was a solid rise and fall of Cottonmouth, and then led you into Diamondback, kind of, but also the rise of the fucking councilwoman to the end.
Yeah.
So you had 3 villains here that never were a solid threat to Luke Cage at one point in time, where like, the Kingpin was so fucking good, and like the Purple Man, Kilgrave and Jessica Jones, like, he had so many holy shit moments, and just like Luke Cage didn't have that single villain where you're like, oh fuck, like all the villains were always fighting each other.
Yeah. So
that could have definitely led to like the problems with the show.
That would have been really great. At the same time, everything here focuses around Harlem. Mm-hmm. And just like in Daredevil, it focuses around Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
The Kingpin was more well established in Daredevil the first season, but here I think that the community was so much more important to establish as saying, this is our blood here.
Yeah, the community really stood out in this show, unlike the other shows.
Right, and I think that's when you have to have a trade-off for a time. What are we going to get you to understand? What are you going to get to know and everything?
And that part of that is Luke Cage doesn't hide himself.
That's true.
And so the community's like, yeah, fuck yeah, Luke, and like they'll stand up for him, and they're cheering him on in that last fight. So I really do like that.
That did feel like Rocky 4 or whatever it was.
Some straight up Rocky 5-age, just fighting in the streets. That was funny. I was also thinking about just the supporting characters too, because like Daredevil has such strong supporting characters, and you feel for all of them. And Luke Cage, they just weren't like up to par, except for the Night Nurse. She was so much more prevalent in this show than the other shows. She shows up in the other shows to help everyone out, but she's straight up like hanging out with Luke Cage. They're kind of got a flirty relationship going. Luke Cage is a pimp. And
They didn't really go into that until the end, though.
Right.
Well, they go into Luke Cage as a pimp every single episode.
Every episode, he was pimping.
But, I mean, they didn't go into, like, really them flirting and getting along until, like, the last few.
Yeah, and they had themselves a nice little makeout. It was all right. And I was telling Matt earlier, I think the night nurse might be the Agent Coulson of this Netflix TV series, accumulation of shows where when the Defenders comes out, the group's going to need something that pulls them all together. And right now, the only thing that's connected all the shows is the night nurse. And so if she ended up dying and they all band together to avenge her, I think it'd be pretty cool as far as being reminiscent of the Avengers. It would be sad to see her go.
Yeah.
Same as Coulson, but no one ever really dies in the Marvel universe.
No, and it's kind of sad. I mean, because you can't have this appreciation without this loss. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we were to actually kill off Captain America, in at the end of Civil War, it would have people would have lost their minds. But again, they're not. They don't have the balls to go do that.
No, they don't.
And it's sad because I love Captain America. I was definitely Team Cap and everything.
Absolutely.
But if you were gonna if you would have the death of Captain America happen at the end of Civil War, oh my God, it would have blown people away. But then he would come back and he would be different, and then he'd be saying Hell Hydra, and there'd be all this crazy shit going on, and so whatever. But I was very happy to sit down and watch this entire series. I got a lot out of it. Watching it even just from gaffing and from a DP perspective and from the camera work and everything. Anybody who worked on this show, I would say, would be damn proud to have worked on this show.
Yeah, it was a good show overall. Overall, there were more good episodes than bad episodes, and I wouldn't even say the bad episodes were bad episodes. They were just long.
They were long, yeah.
They're just episodes to get through. They have their moment. Like every episode does have its action moment. Like it'll have a good Luke Cage moment, but you just got to get through the rest of the dialogue and the conversations for people that don't really matter.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with wrapping it up there.
Me too. Until next time.
Check out Luke Cage. It's definitely worth the wait or worth the watch. And I had a fun time with it.
Me too.
Subscribe. Well, in the end, Shades gets some coffee.
I don't think it's taken up on that.
Oh shit! Is that what I think it was just now?
Who?
The fucking detective just walked in. Yeah. She's all made up and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's her costume from the fucking comics.
She had a costume in the comics?
Yeah. I think she joins the Defenders at some point.